really burning the candle at not at both ends, at like 3 different ends. Just been going really hard in comedy, and working out, and my job. But great fucking week. Um, the past 2 nights I've been featuring for a comic out of Austin, Texas. His name is Roderick McDaniel. He's a very funny guy. He's got some albums out on Spotify and a special out on YouTube that has like over 10,000 views, I think. Super funny guy. I featured for him last year and did 2 shows with him the past 2 nights in Montgomery and Columbus, and then we got one more tomorrow on Monday here in town in Opelika. Man, the Montgomery show was fucking awesome, dude. That was awesome. It was recorded. All the sets were recorded. I'm excited to get that tape back. Dude, you want to know what my set sounded like? Here, dude, let me show you what it sounded like. It sounded a little bit like this. Yeah. That's what it was like. I do have some like sound effects. That was the first time I've ever used one. But dude, the Montgomery set was amazing. I can't wait to get that tape back. I'll probably throw that on YouTube. I got some clips to post from it. I'll throw maybe two jokes on Instagram. Um yeah, whenever I'm just posting shit, dude. I think they always say like you shouldn't post stuff early on in comedy, but I'm not planning on, like, I'm not trying to make it in comedy. I'm only here for like a short period of time, so I'm just trying to run it up. I got an aggressive game plan. So I'm just sharing shit as I do it, dog. If it's good, hey, I'm gonna throw it up. I'm not trying to I don't have any big plans besides like a few festivals. I got on my first festival, dude. I'm booked on a festival in May. I didn't even have to submit tape for it because the guy who runs it, I did 2 shows with him in Louisiana. And Roderick McDaniel's on it. A couple of my buddies are on it. So I'll be down in the festival this year is in Biloxi, Mississippi. It's about 5 hours away from me. Never been to Biloxi. Never done comedy in Mississippi, so I get to cross another state off. But yeah, that was like one of my goals. I said early in this podcast, I was like, I want to get on a festival. Bam. Hey, we're fucking making shit happen, dog. I'm going to try to apply to Skankfest. Roderick, who I've been opening for this weekend, he's done Skankfest twice. His first year was the last year I was there. It was 2 years ago. I went to the Skankfest 3 years ago and 2 years ago with my buddy Danny. And Roderick's first year performing there was my second year, and then he went last year back to Vegas, and I didn't go. But I bought tickets for this year's Skankfest in New Orleans. I'm also going to try to apply. I don't think I'm going to get it because the festival's getting bigger and bigger, and it's just like it's the best comics in the country and headliners and stuff like that. So I'm like a feature. I can feature. I'm not like a big name, so I don't think I deserve it. But I think I'm gonna be able to do like the skank fights that they do. They do some sort of like martial arts. They do like jujitsu stuff. They did like kickboxing and body punches. They also have to be careful about it because they did like boxing stuff in Vegas, and then they got in trouble about it because like the athletic commission will get involved if you have boxing stuff going on. Because I think like a few months before that, there was a charity boxing thing that was going on in Vegas, and a guy in college died in it. Like I said in the last episode, fucking people die all the time in boxing. I think there's an average of 13 deaths a year. So at least, and it ranges from beginners all the way up to professionals. Like I've seen matches where the professional left to go to the hospital, went into a coma, and then died. Like I've seen that a few times. I know of several amateur tournaments I was at where somebody died. So, at least one time a month, somebody boxing somewhere dies. The sport takes one a month. It happens. So, the athletic commission, I guess, was like told them that they couldn't do boxing at Skankfest. But that was in Las Vegas, so maybe in New Orleans is different. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be doing boxing. Uh, I think they'll do maybe they'll do something. I don't know. They did like a pillow fight one year. I don't know. But if I can't do comedy, I'll do something combat related. And because the last time I was there, I sparred with Louis J. Gomez. He's the guy who started Skankfest. He's from the Legions of Skanks podcast. And I like sparred with him because he put out a message. He's like, "Hey, does anyone have any like boxing experience or MMA experience? Hit me up if you want to spar before Skankfest." And I just sent him my resume, and he was like, "Hell yeah, dog, bring your gloves." So they like, and the guys that like work for him that were there filming and recording, I saw them at the festival, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, we all were." When we got in the car riding back to the hotel, we were all like, "Yeah, that one dude was the best boxer there for sure." And I was like, "Yeah, that's how it should be." You know, I was like, "I've got the fucking accolades for that." I was also kind of nervous about it when he said, "Yeah, bring your gloves." It's like, "Oh shit!" I like came home that day and like went ham on the bag. Not like, I mean, I was punching hard, but I just wanted to make sure my movement, my speed, and some of my tendencies were right. Because I was like, I'm sparring. I need to like, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of these guys. Because like Jamar Neighbors was there. He's a big comedian and actor. Sam Hyde was there. So it was like comedians I'm fans of that also have fighting experience. But as soon as I got in the room, I was like, oh yeah, I'm used to sparring like professional fighters. Like, so I was like, these guys have like almost no experience. So it was like playing it was like playing Scrabble with like middle schoolers, you know, or some sort of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy. That one was pretty retarded. It doesn't make sense. So maybe we can get on Skankfest, maybe not. I don't know. That's like one of my main goals. It's because I've been to Skankfest twice as a fan. It's the best comedy festival there is, and that's my main goal in comedy, dude. If I could do, I'm telling you right now, if I get Skankfest this year, probably hanging it up soon after. I'm just here to get like a few of my goals done. So it's like I've had I've gotten millions of views, gotten on some festivals, bam, hang it up. Hang my jersey in the rafters, dog. I'm not here for a long time, dude. I'm just here to run it up. So I'm not. I don't see myself doing this. Um, I mean, I think I'll always be a comedian. Like that's just how I think. So like I'm always just going to be thinking of jokes, but I don't think I'm going to be like actively doing sets. Like I might still pop by to see my friends every now and then and do a set, but I'm not going to be grinding. Like I'm not trying to be like a nationwide touring headliner. Like I'm not trying to live off this. I have a good job that takes care of me. I'm not trying to like stress myself out by trying to make a living as a comedian on the road. I also have a wife, and sooner or later we're gonna have kids. So it's like I want to be here on the weekends. I want to be a father. And I want to be touring every weekend, not here with my kids, stressed out trying to make money as a comedian. Nah, I'm good on that. I'm gonna run it up while I can, dog. Y'all know that. I'm gonna leave my stamp. That's the only reason I got into this. I was like, hey, if I'm gonna do comedy, I'm gonna do it my way. I'm a I'm gonna do jokes that I like. It's gonna be my version, authentically how I am a conduit of comedy. I'm not doing an impression of anybody. This is me. Regardless of people I've been influenced by, and inspired by when I get on stage, it's like, damn, that's a Scott Walker joke. It's like that's something a lot of my jokes are just like, damn, that's something that I haven't heard other comedians talk about. That's my goal. That's how I've always been trying to do it. But hopefully we get that tape back soon from the Montgomery show. That was fucking phenomenal. It was a great show. It's like one of my favorite sets. Um, I'd put it in the top 10 of all time for my performances. And then last night in Columbus was just a wild show. There was like some thick booty white cheerleading mom in the front row. Man, she was talking a lot. And I don't do crowd work, so I barely acknowledged her. Yeah. But she was like flirting with Roderick, the headliner, and he just kept on talking about how fat her ass was. And they were like trying to hook up too. But Roderick like rode out from Auburn with me and my buddy JD McKenna, who was also on the show. We rode out to Columbus together, and I was like, damn, I might have to leave him here. He might hook up with this white chick. But she was with a group of people, and they were like, no, come on. They like kind of stopped that situation from happening. She was also pretty drunk. She lost her debit card during the show. Couldn't find it. She just trashed. So that show was just wild. But the night before was my favorite one of the weekend. It was also recorded. I was nervous. I had to watch my Allen Iverson pump up speech. And I was like, damn, I just got to do good. Because I was the main feature too. So I was like, I was the last act right before Roderick came up to headline. So I was like, dude, I can't just go up there and eat shit. You know, I gotta shake the room. And it went well. It went good. So happy about that. I've been demoted back down to high noons. I got back into the bourbon era, you know. I was talking about that Woodford Reserve and ginger ale, diet ginger ale. I was sipping dirty for a little bit, and then I got a hangover a little bit over a week ago. Not Friday, a couple days ago, but the last Friday before that. Because we did that big show on that like first Thursday, or I guess January 31st, if that was a Thursday, at Irish Bed Pub. And I was sipping bourbon, and I had a bad hangover the next day. And so I've been demoted back down from the ranks of bourbon to high noon vodka seltzers, which is good. That's a good move. It was a smart move. And that's just what I've been on. And dude, I fucking hate getting hangovers. They suck so bad. I like don't sleep well. I wake up and then I feel like I have to like the only exercises that make me feel better when I'm hungover is running and sauna. Like I need to go do some fucking long distance cardio. Just get the blood moving, sweat that shit out, and then come back here and get in the sauna and fucking really sweat that shit out. Get that heat shock protein action. So yeah, and I also feel like I usually only drink like 200 milligrams of caffeine per day as like my pre-workout, but the most you're recommended by the FDA to have is like 400. You shouldn't have more than 300 milligrams in a 4-hour period. So like I'd have like 200 in the morning, go work out, and then in the afternoon I'd be like still just battling the hangover and trying to get my head in the game, and I'd go drink another 200 milligram, like 100 to 200. That's the only time I like double up on energy stuff is when hungover. It's like the movie Crank, where Jason Statham has to keep his heart rate above a certain beats per minute, or else he'll die because he's been poisoned. So I'm running around. I need to keep my heart rate above 100 beats per minute. I'm about to chug another Celsius and go for a run. Just fucking Jason Statham from Crank, trying to get through this hangover. But yeah, I had two. I only had like two high noons on Thursday, and then I just slept like shit. Oh, it's because I also had a Zen. I took a Zen for the first time in a week, and I've really been good about limiting myself. I don't do the sixes. I do the threes. Um, I only do them when I'm drinking and doing comedy. Uh, my first year, my first like over my first year, every time I did stand up, I had a Zen in my mouth. So like if you see my early clips from like me at the Laughing Skull, basically any of my clips up until like summer, the end of summer last year, and I was doing stand up, I had a Zen in my mouth, and I was like, and it did like you wouldn't be able to tell it, but I could tell. It's like you shouldn't get on stage with something in your mouth, dude. You're supposed to be talking. Because like there'd be times where I'd kind of like smack my lips, like not like an insane like what the fuck is he doing, but like I could tell that I was like kind of licked my lips a little bit. I was like, yeah, dude, I shouldn't have a fucking nicotine pouch in my mouth. Nobody does that, I don't think. So I ditch those. I throw them out now before I get on stage. But something about just a couple high noons and then a little nicotine pouch, dude. It's a good nicotine is a good like neurotropic. It that's kind of like what the alpha brain stuff I take. Um gets your brain firing. Like it gets you in the fucking zone. But now I only do it like if I'm doing showcases, and I'll let myself have like 2 to 4 drinks. I'll throw in one Zen 3 pouch for a little bit, and then I'll throw it out of my mouth before I get on stage. And but the nicotine fucks with your sleep. Like it is a stimulant kind of. I think it is a stimulant. So it does fuck with your sleep, and it also is addictive too. So I don't want to be like. I mean, there was times where I was doing them insane amount, but I can not do Zens for like I didn't do one for a month and a half in September and October when I wasn't drinking, and I'll go weeks without doing them. Like 'cause typically I'm not doing showcases every week, so there's periods where I don't drink for like a week or two, and I don't do Zens at all. I just if I go to open mics, I just perform sober, just work on shit. So I don't want to get those like cravings or like mood swings from nicotine or anything, but it is a good neurotropic, and I don't want it fucking with my sleep is another thing. So even if I limit it to one, even if I just have like 2 drinks in one pouch, I notice a difference in my sleep quality. It's not insanely bad, but it's not optimal. I mean, it's better than me getting hammered on bourbon and throwing in a ton of Zen 6 pouches throughout the night like I used to do when I first started. But yeah, that's another thing with I got back into cigars. Uh I went to one of my buddy's weddings in like October, and they had somebody there rolling handmade cigars, Nicaraguan cigars. And I was like, I'm not a big fan of cigars. I don't want my mouth to taste like shit and for like a day. And I just didn't enjoy them when I like smoked them when I was younger. I liked them in high school, but I think I just thought I looked cool. I liked getting buzzed too, but But I was like, you know what? It's not worth smelling like a cigar and my mouth tasting like shit. But then I smoked one at my buddy's wedding. I was like, dude, I fucking like people wanted to go back inside like when I was like towards the end of my cigar. Most people didn't even smoke their whole ones. I like was about to finish mine. And people are like, "Oh, we're going back inside." I was like, "Damn, I'm fucking really enjoying this cigar." I was like, "I need to get back into cigars on special occasions." And then when we went down to Louisiana with the homies for that those 2 comedy shows in Baton Rouge, me and my buddy Charlie that rode down there with me, we like stopped to get like supplies for that Airbnb, and they just happened to have like cigars and cutters and lighters. And I was like, "Dude, let's get some stogies, dude, for after the show. Come back here and fucking smoke some cigars." And I really enjoyed it down there. But then the only other time I've done it recently, besides like October, November, was New Year's. I bought 2. I bought one for New Year's night, and then I bought another one for when that clip I posted. I was like, when this joke hits 1,000,000, I'll smoke the cigar, because it was like getting it was getting traction, and it looked like from the analytics side that it was going to pass 1,000,000. It's at like 1.4 right now. But at the beginning of January, when it hit 1,000,000, is when I smoked that other stogie. But those, you get blasted with nicotine, dude. That's like the most nicotine you could hit in your system. So, I noticed like a mood change. Like, I don't know, nicotine like it makes you irritable. There's like weird withdrawals from that and like cravings. But I don't really like crave a cigar or nicotine. Like, it's just for like a day. I feel kind of weird after, because I'm not always doing it like people that smoke cigs. And I don't want it fucking with my sleep, dude. But yeah, on that New Year's night too, I was my brother-in-laws are really into like sipping bourbon neat, like no mixers, no ice, just they're just into like just sipping straight bourbon. And I was like, yeah, dude, I need to get into that. Um, so then I just started drinking liquor straight. And I was like, you know what, maybe this is a bad idea. And I switched back to mixed drinks. Um, and then I was like, you know what, we're going back down to high noons. This is getting out of hand. High noons are perfect. It's like a Bud Light, a Bud Light's worth of alcohol, but it's like that vodka seltzer. I don't know. I like it. It's good. When I was in Montgomery, I brought the past 2 nights I've brought 3 with me in this like backpack cooler. They're expensive as shit. Um, and a lot of places don't carry them. Most of the places I go carry them, but the place I went in Montgomery, I knew they didn't. So I brought 3 in like this little backpack cooler I got. And I drank those 3. And then I didn't realize I was the main feature, so I was like, I'm gonna be here for a minute. So after I finished the 3rd one, I just went and got a vodka soda at the bar. And the mixed drink vodka sodas, that's what put me in the I think that's what kicked me up a notch for that Friday night show. It's because that's not a high noon. That's a liquor drink, dude. And they're like, do you want the house vodka, or do you want like something nicer? And I was like, what's something nicer? And they're like, we got Tito's, or we got Grey Goose. And I was like, oh, hit me with that Grey Goose, dog. So we started sipping on the goose. And then your boy got on stage and it was a silly goose, bro. We was getting silly off the goose, dog. But yeah, vodka soda's a good mix in very light moderation. I only had one mixed drink while I was there. But anywho, last night I brought 3 high noons to Columbus. And my buddy JD he got some like Budweisers from the gas station. I was like, just throw them in here. And I was like, I usually just put 2 in my back pocket and chug one when I get there. So I just bring the cans in with me. And I was like, dude, let's just bring the backpack in. Because like it just looks like I'm bringing stuff in for the show, basically. I was like, they're not going to say shit, dude. So we just brought the backpack in. I was like rucking It was like I was rucking with liquor supplies, dude. Went for a ruck with some high noons, military style. That's what you got to do when you're in war. You got to ruck with your supplies. But yeah, high noons are like, if you buy them in a liquor store, I think they're like, in most places, they're like $3 to $4 a can. But if you go to a bar, I mean, they could be anywhere from, I think, on average, $7 or $8 a can. And it's like, that's like, and you're getting like a Bud Light worth of alcohol, pretty much. It's like paying like $8 for a Bud Light. That's pretty high. And but I don't do it for like financial reasons. I bring it because some of the places I go don't have high noons, and it's like I'm very specific on if I'm doing a showcase, what my limits are, 2 to 3 high noons, and we're good. I think it's actually 4 is where I want to be for showcases. So because they actually did sell them at the place we went to last night, so I drank my 3 and then I just went downstairs and bought one. But I'm trying to limit myself to 3 if I don't need that 4th one, you know. But 4, once I get that 4, dog, once I get that 4th one in me, bro, then we're cooking. Your boy's about to be hilarious. But yeah, it's only for showcases, you know, and celebrations. You gotta celebrate your wins, man. It's good to stay humble and keep working, but when something good happens, man, celebrate with a drink and a cigar, dude. If it's a special, if it means something to you, man, and you've been working hard at something, celebrate that W, dog. Celebrate it. I mean, you don't have to be like crazy in people's face about it. I mean, like on New Year's Eve, like I just stayed home and I just felt like I was just grateful for everything that had been going on and happening in the last year. So I just poured myself a little neat bourbon, smoked a cigar by myself, just here with my wife, stayed home, didn't go out, you know, just celebrated. Turn down for what? You know, as Lil Jon said, why should we turn down? Or as Akon said, I'm trying to find the words to describe this girl without being disrespectful. I heard that song earlier and I just think that line is so fucking funny. Trying to find the words to describe this girl without being disrespectful. Man, it's so hard to describe this woman without being disrespectful. But yeah, celebrate your W's while you can. Because next thing you know, dude, you're going to blink and then you wake up and you're 70 years old, dog. You're like, damn. Remember when I was doing this and doing that? That was so cool, man. That was like a really cool period in my life, dog. I'm proud of that shit. You know? And then you look back on it so fondly and you're like, damn, I should have appreciated it more while I was there. You know? Trying to get that more positive self-talk in me because I'm very critical on myself. I'm OCD. I do have that's one of the disorders I missed from last week. I am very OCD. At the shows the past 2 nights, I can tell you when I got to the venue, from the time from where I got to the venue and when I left after the show, each night, I guarantee you, on average, I washed my hands close to 20 times. Anytime I touch a door handle, I touch a microphone, I shake somebody's hand, I like quarantine my hand by my side. Not like in an obvious way, but I just try not to like touch it. I try not to touch my phone. I try not to touch my face or like scratch my beard. I go wash my hands. That's how I've always been. Uh, if you see me open doors in public, usually I'll wrap the bottom of my shirt over my fingertips, and then I'll pull the door open with like my shirt over my hand. I'm paranoid about touching door handles. That's one of my big OCD ticks. I also don't like shaking hands. If I fist bump, like all my comedy friends know this now. They're like, Scott's a fist bump guy. I try not to be awkward about it. I try to like instigate it like way before it happens. Like I'll hold my fist up like as I'm walking like 10 feet away from somebody to be like, this is what's coming. Like the fist bump is en route. So there's not like an awkward like where I like reject a handshake to like fist bump. Um, I just don't like touching hands. I don't like touching door handles that a lot of hands have touched. So if I'm in a public place, I put my fucking uh, shirt over my hand before I grab it. Even when I'm at like my parents' house, they have like a refrigerator door that's like it's like one of those long door handles that goes down the entire door. And what I do is I reach up real high to the very top of the door handle, and that's where I open it from. Because that's where no one's grabbing up there when they grab it. You know, everyone's grabbing around like waist level, belly button level, to hip length, I would say. Yeah. So when COVID happened and everyone was getting all paranoid about germs, I was like, hey, welcome to my hell, brother. This is what we've been living in since I was born. I don't like germs, dog. It was hard for me going through football and boxing, especially when I first started. Because, like, dude, you're wearing these hand wraps and your gloves. You're getting like gloves are like a sweaty, dark environment. It's like, oh, dude, this is perfect for nasty stuff to grow in. So I keep like bag deodorizers that slide down in the glove to like, uh, they're also like demoisturizers. So they absorb like some of the sweat left behind after hard workouts to prevent any like nasty stuff from growing. But yeah, that and football, dude, it's like you're all the equipment is like stuff that you've been sweaty in, and god damn, it was hard for me to like get over that when I first started, especially in boxing. You also go to a gym where people are just sweating all over the place. People are sweating on the bags. You have to like wipe them down and shit, but you know, so that's why I'm not really into like I couldn't get into jujitsu as much. It's because that's like one of the grossest one. People are sweaty, rolling around on the grounds. They have to clean the mats like every day, but people still get staph infection all the time. All the time. It's nasty. So I'm OCD as fuck, but you probably wouldn't notice. Um, my friends only notice because I told them why I do fist bumps, and yeah, I just wash my hands a shitload. My wife even said she was like, he washes his hands more than anyone I've ever met in my life. So yeah, because your boy doesn't want to get germs. I don't want to get sick. I hate being sick, dude. That sucked a couple weeks ago. I'm like, dude, how did this happen? You can't get away from like respiratory shit though. It's like it doesn't matter how much I wash my hands. If it's like fucking if I talk to you and you were sick, it's a fucking airborne thing. I'm gonna fucking get it. Can't run away from that shit. I'm not gonna mask up. You kidding me? This shit doesn't even protect you from the size of COVID particles. Okay, so I'm OCD. Um, which also makes me I get obsessive about things, and I'm very self-critical. Like I hold myself to a very high standard, especially when it comes to things like comedy and fighting. Because I know it I know it at a high level, and I've been a fan and studied both for so long that I know what it is at a high level. And if I'm not if I can't live up to a certain standard, of what is expected to be a high level, it drives me insane. I can't take it. Yeah, it drives me insane. Because like, there's jokes that I'm like, "Ugh, I fucking hate this joke. This is fucking stupid." And and then one of my buddies would be like, "Dude, that's like one of my favorite jokes I've ever heard you tell." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? It is funny." It's like, I don't know why I'm so fucking hard on myself about this shit. And same thing with fighting. It's like I never felt like confident. Like, it's weird, but but I was a very skilled fighter. Like, very respected. Like, I didn't spar for 6 or 7 years, and then 2 years ago, I came in and sparred with like some local MMA professional MMA fighters that are like, one of them fought in LFA, which is like the main feeder organization into. It's one of the main feeding organizations into the UFC. It's like the B league of UFC. And I fucking went in there off a 7 year layoff, dude, no sparring, and it was like respected rounds, gave them good work, and I was like, dude, I knew it, dude. Like, I got so much better off that. Like, I've been training by myself, but I know I'm getting better. Like, I'm the most dangerous I've ever been right now. I might not have the best cardio I've ever been in. I think I might be the strongest I've ever been. Um, maybe not this very moment. I did set some PRs at the end of December that uh, I think I don't think I'm as strong right now as I was in the end of December, actually. Like, that's how quick that can change because I've been doing more cardio. So I think in December I was actually at my strongest, but my cardio is better right now. But even when I had my best cardio, like I ran a half marathon in 1 hour and 37 minutes, an average pace of 7 minute, 30-second miles for 13 miles. I was running at a little bit over a 7 minute pace. I was flying, dude. And I was looking back at old files of like bag work stuff, like within the last couple weeks. And in my mind, I was like, that's when I was in the best shape. Like, I can't go out and run a half marathon that fast. Like, it would take me over 2 hours now. I'm also like 40 pounds heavier, 50 pounds heavier. So I'm carrying a lot more weight. I was like, dude, my cardio was insane then. I was lean. I was very light. I was on a super strict diet. And I was like, my gas tank was crazy. That was probably the best version of me as a fighter, honestly. And I went back and watched bag work tapes and I was like, dude, I would fuck my shit up right now if I went back in time to that version of me. That, like, in my mind, I was like, that was probably the best version of me as a fighter, was that period of around 2018 when I was 50 pounds lighter, insane gas tank. And then I watched my bag work clips. I was like, no, dude, no. I clean my shit up easily. This version of me right now in present times. Which is crazy. Because like I thought I was like training. Maybe there was a time in 2022 where I was better. Yeah. I think there might have been a time in October of 2022, maybe, where I was better. Or October 2020. Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty good right now, though. I think after Skankfest, I think I came back from Skankfest. It was a couple months after I sparred with those professional MMA fighters. I was training really hard. I think I had started. Yeah, I'd been doing stand up for like 6 months. Yeah, so it was about a little bit over a year, like a year and a few months ago. That was probably the best version of me as a fighter. I was also drinking a lot of bourbon there, so I don't know. Who gives a fuck? All right, your boy's cooking right now though, and I thought I was like in the decline of my performance abilities. But I have heard always that like 30, 32 is like your athletic prime. So I was like, dude, I'm just cooking. I'm just getting warmed up. I don't want to talk about this too much though, because I will uh the more I think about this type of shit, your boy's gonna be in a cage soon. And I'm like, I'm just gonna start fighting. I thought about it a couple weeks ago. Um, it always comes back like once or twice a year where I'm like, let's go fucking I just wanna I just wanna tussle, bro, for real. I just wanna I want a skills assessment against a high level fighter. I wanna see where I'm at, because I'm doing all these I'm training all week. I'm doing I'm my own science experiment right now. And I'm just like, I just wanna see the results, dog. I wanna see where I'm at right now. I got a thesis, dog. I got a thesis. I got a hypothesis on what's gonna happen if I get in the ring. I just wanna see what plays out, dog. Just a scientist in this game. But yeah, we're not fighting. Let's just do comedy right now and not get punched in the head. All right, so I just wanted to tell you about my circling back. We were talking about I forgot to tell you about my OCD. Um and but that is like one thing is like I get obsessed with like most things that people would just like brush off their shoulder and not think about. It's harder for me to do that. Um I get fixated on some things. It's good though. It's a good thing to have because it pushes me to be better. Um, Sometimes it is fucking brutal, but I would rather hold myself to a standard that is extreme than just to let myself get by with bullshit. Um, so if I have a great set but in my mind I don't think it was that great, uh, I would rather that than to go out and just like barely do an okay set and be like crushed. Damn, I'm a fucking murderer, dude. I kind of like envy that some people look at things like that because I know some people like that, and I'm just like, I mean, that was alright, dude. I didn't think any of that material was like anything crazy impressive or creative, but I mean, it wasn't a bad set. But I kind of respect that. They're not beating themselves up like I am. It's like Jesus, dude. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to do this anymore. I'm such a fucking dickhead to myself. But so I'm trying to do more positive self-talk, you know, chill out on the OCD, man. Go wash your hands, but don't beat yourself up so much. Quit being obsessive and fucking setting such a high standard on yourself. Cause I am proud of myself, I'm proud for the stuff I did in fighting back in the day, and I'm proud of this current version of myself, who's into stand-up comedy. Those are my two the two things in my life that have uh always sparked my interest the most. Was I always watched stand-up specials growing up. I always watched Comedy Central, whatever was on Comedy Central. They had like uh stand-up showcases on there. Love stand-up. Totally obsessed with fighting. Fighting was number one. So that was the first one I got into. Proud of all the stuff I did in that. Never thought I would ever do stand-up. Terrified of public speaking. I still get nervous before every show. I'm more confident now. I know what I'm doing. So it's kind of like it's a different nerves than fighting. Because fighting, you can be confident and be like, I know what I'm doing, but I'm also about to get in a fist fight with a dangerous person that I don't know what's going to happen. It's like I haven't seen this guy fight before, so that's nerve wracking because you're walking into danger and punishment. And then stand up is like not even. It's like a mental. The more I've come to realize, it's just a mental fear. It's just all in your own head. It's like, what's the worst thing that happened? There's an awkward moment where a joke doesn't hit. and it's like I'm seeing this as like, "Oh, this is gonna be the most embarrassing thing ever." And it's like, dude, I've had great sets where, like, one joke in the middle, I'll try to, like, work in something new. I tried to do it on in Montgomery, actually. There was, like, 2 I brought in 2 new jokes, um, and I kinda just went over them, and, they didn't, like, crush. They didn't bomb, but and then I just moved on to the next thing, and, like, it's like, "Hey, I was just trying to work some new stuff in. Who gives a fuck?" The the entire set as a whole crushed, so who gives a fuck if, like, one joke doesn't hit? Imma shake the room up with the other ones, I know that, you know? Y'all gonna get this work. I'm telling you that right now. I'm getting real confident in my showcase set. This is, the one I got on Friday was about I'd say it's about 80% there. It's almost to like, a bulletproof zone where I'm like, "This is it. It's locked in." 'Cause I'm always tinkering with it. Like the set I did at uh, the one on Friday in Montgomery, I'm probably gonna post on YouTube once I get the footage back. It's about 60% similar to the one I did in Louisiana, so it's changed. Like about 30 to 40% has changed. So we're getting it there. We're honing it in. We're putting in work. So when I get on these festivals, dude, I show up, what I gotta do, 10, 15 minutes, 20? I don't think I'm gonna be doing 30. I think it's probably gonna be 10 to 15. But hey, we're ready, dog. We got a 100-round drum of good bits. I'm gonna pull up and dump on them. And I'm gonna get off stage. Be like, yeah, how about that? Good luck following that, brother. I'm talking high laughs per minute. I'm talking high decibels. Shake the room up, bro. That's how we coming in 2025. Um, one thing of advice for people that are into trying to get better at anything is to be observant and to watch masters in your field. So, like, if you're into MMA, watch professional fighting. If you're into comedy, watch the best of the best in stand-up comedy. People that have specials out that are, I mean, not everyone that has a special out is like the best of the best, but they're successful. Um, but like find people that are like respected masters of your craft, high level professionals, and watch them. Watch them break down what they do, small things. Look for small things, especially in fighting. Everything is small details. Like the breakdown I did with Israel Adesanya, he literally posted something saying that he should have been about 6 to 8 inches back before he did that stance switch. That's literally what I said on this podcast. You want to know how I picked up on that? Years of experience and watching high level fighting. I know when you shouldn't switch stances in striking range. Anytime you break your base like that, that's dangerous. You got to be outside. And I said it looked like he was he wasn't quite outside of striking distance when he made that stance switch. Called it. But no, be observant, analyze masters of the art form that you're in, and learn from them, dude. Pick up on small things. What are they doing that sets them apart, you know? Gotta study. Gotta study the masters and learn from them. Don't copy them, but just pick up on small things. Small things. Tips. Make it yourself. Like learn the principle of what they're doing and why they're doing it. And then use it, you know? That's what I like about grinding and training in comedy. There's different rewards, you know? It's good physical rewards in training. It's good social rewards in comedy, making friends and stuff. Both are good for you mentally, I'd say. Makes you a stronger person, more confident. It's like different muscles, physical and mental. And comedy's been good. Made some friends from it, so it's good shit. Uh oh yeah, I didn't even do the book recommendation of the week, dude. Another great thing about the week, dude. I read one of the best books I've ever read. Is The Way of the Fight by Georges St. Pierre. I was like, damn, man, this is like knocked it out of the park. One of the best books I've ever read. He's one of the greatest of all time in MMA. And dude, in the book, he quotes the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. He quotes The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Those are the two book recs we've done the past couple of weeks. And he also quotes the fucking Bruce Lee Be Water thing, which is the intro to this podcast. So it's like fucking right down my alley. And he talks about just this whole mindset getting into MMA and how he experienced losses and what he appreciates about losing and what he learned from losing, which is phenomenal to hear from one of the greatest martial artists of all time. Talk about how he has a special relationship with losing and what it's taught him. Everyone could fucking learn from that. It's a great book, fucking phenomenal book. I love how he also talks about fear. Hold up, I also got to read this quote that I saved in my phone in 2019, and when I was reading the book, I was like, oh yeah, I saved a Georges St. Pierre quote on my phone. The quote is, "There is a difference between a fighter and a martial artist. A fighter is training for a purpose. He has a fight. I am a martial artist. I don't train for a fight. I train for myself. I am training all the time. My goal is perfection, but I will never reach perfection." Georges St. Pierre. And this was like a couple years after I officially retired from fighting from 2 shoulder injuries, where I was like, dude, that's it. This is why I train, dude. It's a way of life. It's a diligent practice, a discipline. It makes me a better person. It's a journey of the mind and soul and the body on a goal for perfection. Although we'll never reach it, we'll get pretty damn good along the way, you know? Become the best version of ourselves as we can. Might not be perfect, but it's as close to the best version of ourselves as we can get. That's the goal. But he talks about fear in the book and dealing with fear. And fear, you can help manage fear through hard work, training, you know. And this is more fear about fighting and stand-up comedy. So it's about practice and training. Especially in fighting, it's like even when I didn't believe in myself and I had no self-confidence, I still put in the work. I put in hard ass work in my training and training camps. So in fights, in fighting, it becomes like an autonomous version of myself because like my training is hardwired and programmed, hours in the gym training and sparring. So it's like regardless of my lack in confidence, I was molded into a fighter. Like my autopilot physically and mentally was a fighter. My instincts, reactions, responses, movements, setups, decision making, it was all automatic when I was in a fight. I was just a vessel of skilled violence and just been programmed. And when I'd hit somebody and like see them react in like a submissive way or like to where you could see that they felt the pain, it was like eye opening because I was like, dude, I didn't think I could do that. I had like no self confidence in myself. But it's like I trained for this, you know? And that's what martial arts gave me is I built what small amount of confidence I had through hard work. It was all the training, blood, sweat, and tears, dude. I manufactured confidence when I didn't have any, and that's all because of martial arts. And like in the last episode said, I was a really insecure kid when I was in middle school. Didn't really felt like I fit in. I was like, I felt like a loser. I don't think people would say I was a loser, but I just felt like one. Um, and then after I got into martial arts, dude, it just gave me the confidence to be more of myself. And then as I got into high school, I started to like really fit in. And then like I was hanging out with the cool kids, dude. I was one of the cool kids. And then like I was hanging out with people in grades above me that I thought were like, holy shit. They're like, I was like nervous to be around them. I thought they were too cool. And they thought I was I'd go fucking work out with uh like the coolest kids on the football team that were seniors when I was like a junior, and they'd invite me to like private workouts at their house. They're like, because I was like a gym rat basically. I was training and lifting all the time. They're like, yeah, this dude's jacked and he's cool. He can come lift with us. And I was like, dude, hell yeah, I'm accepted. I'm accepted. And it's like that was me all the time, dude. I was always a cool cat. I just didn't have confidence, didn't believe in myself. And martial arts gave me a path to where I could allow myself to be myself, you know, allow me to open up and get out of my own head, build some confidence. Hard to explain, but, you know, that's what I got from it. But fear is good, it protects you. Um, some of it's real and some of it's not. Like fear in comedy, like I said earlier, it's not as real. I think it's more in your head. Um, it's a fear of embarrassment. It's a fear of lack of preparation. It's a fear of, I guess, not believing in yourself, not thinking that you're funny. You just lack belief in yourself. Maybe you're not experienced enough. You don't know what kind of crowd you're gonna get. So I think it's more mental. But then the fear in fighting is very real. Some people aren't aware of it, but the more dangerous the level of competition gets, that's when fear becomes more prevalent. Because like when I first started fighting, I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, dude, we're gonna go in there, bang," and like I wasn't like a real. I mean, I was like 15 years old and I was like 150, 160 pounds. So I was like, I mean, I could fight, but I wasn't like dangerous. And now I'm like 250 pounds. I'm fucking dangerous, but it's like mutual assured destruction. So it's like I wouldn't want to fight a version of me out there somewhere, dude. It's like somebody might fucking die off of just one shot. You never fucking know. I catch somebody with a clean hit, they fall down, hit their head on the ground, and die. It's like you never know what the fuck's gonna happen, or they hit you and you fucking die. Who knows? Really want to lose your life over some shit like that? So fear is real. It also has powers, though. You can't enter a dangerous situation without it. It is power. The adrenaline, the awareness, the intensity, it gets you ready. You can't enter a situation like that in a sedated state. But you have to remain calm and focused. Don't panic. Don't freeze. Use the power. Remain clear. Embrace the experience. Remove yourself and focus on the task. Breathe. Control your breath. Deep nasal inhale. Slow exhale. Control yourself. Remain focused, but also remove yourself. Get out of your own head. You know? John Jones has a really great quote where he talked about that. He's like, the more anxious and nervous you are, that's actually when you're the most powerful. He was talking about it before a fight. And he was like, you can't let it break you, though. Especially like getting in a UFC cage in front of a packed arena. That would break most people. Even like highly trained, skilled fighters. Some of the best people in the world, they freeze up under the lights. You could be a killer in the gym, and then you get in a packed arena in the cage, and it just really sets in on you. And then you start to experience fear. You're like, what if this guy knocks me out in front of everyone? I'm embarrassed. There's clips of me getting KO'd all over social media and ESPN, and you start spiraling. That's the anxieties. Oh, it's like, oh my god, dude, what if he hits me? What if he hits me? I go into a coma and I die. It's like you can't do that. You can't allow yourself to be paralyzed by fear. You know, you got to focus on the task. You've been fighting. You know how to fight. Get out of your head. Control yourself. Breathe. Fucking let that autopilot take over, dude. The instincts it should be all hardwired and programmed. You should be prepared for it. That's what I love about martial arts and fighting. Is like it's the truth. So it's like in other sports, like when people talk trash, like that's what I love about fighting. Is like you can talk shit because that's how people are in real life. Like people talk shit, like whatever, dude. I'll fucking beat your ass, and they don't actually fight or anything. Or people just walk around acting like they're tough and they're really not. But it's like in fighting, it's like we could talk shit or we could not talk shit. It doesn't matter. Like you could say, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you up." Guess what, brother? We're gonna find out. Okay. If we're fighting, who gives a fuck about who says what? It's like I was never much of a trash talker. Um, that's why I went by walk the walk. I was like, I mean, if you're gonna talk the talk, you better walk the walk. That's what I'm about. And I got that from the World Championship kickboxing thing. They gave out this thing and it said walk the walk on it. On this like award I received. And I was like, hell yeah, dude. I'll keep that. It's all about walking the walk, dude. Doesn't matter what you said. We're gonna find the fuck out, dude. Fighting is the truth. So you could say you're gonna fuck me up. Cool. Come prove that shit. I bet you don't. I bet you don't. Comedy's weird though, because that like you could do one set. There's been times where I've done 2 shows in one night, same set, both venues. And I'll go to the first venue, there's almost no crowd, and it's a terrible crowd, not a great comedy crowd. They're not reacting or it's just a shit open mic that I shouldn't have even been at, basically. So I went there, I do the set. I wouldn't call it a bomb just because it's like doesn't even really count. It's like I got up there and told jokes, but there was like maybe fucking 7 or 8 people in the crowd and they were fucking like I don't want to call them like retards or dickheads, but just not a good comedy crowd. Maybe they weren't even there for comedy, they just happened to be sitting down. And then I'd leave that spot and I'd go down the street to the one I'm thinking about is this night in particular was in Columbus. I'd go to this place called No Shame and it was packed. I mean like 40 to 50 people and a great crowd. And then that same set from an hour or two before that didn't do well. Murders. I mean, one of the loudest I've heard a room react was that night in particular. And that really just told me something. I was like, dude, it's crazy. You can't just judge yourself off of one set. Cause like you could do the same jokes, 2 sets on one night, murder one time, and then or I mean like not do well one time and then absolutely tear the roof off the room the next like an hour later with the same set. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But when it comes to comedy crowds, it's like I only want strangers. Like I need to work with big groups of strangers. New faces. That's what I like about traveling with comedy is like I'm pulling up to people that I don't know, have never seen me before in a different state, in a different city. Because I actively divert people I know from coming. It's like if I know you on a personal level, just go away, dog. Let me work. Like I appreciate people that I know that are in my real life that are like interested in me doing comedy, and they're like, "Oh, man, that's cool, dude. I wanna come check you out sometime." And I really appreciate it, I actually do. Um, but I just don't I just don't want you to be I'm working on something. It's like I'm trying to go on this journey alone. I'm venturing into the unknown, and I'm trying to work on stuff. And if it's in town, I'm usually working on new material. I'm not doing my best stuff. So I just want to work, you know. I need reactions from strangers, not my friends or family, you know. I'm focused on getting that laughs per minute and decibel level up. And I need a fair shake from strangers. I don't want to pack the crowd with friends and family that are gonna give me better reactions maybe than somebody like I wanna earn real reactions from people I don't know, you know? So if I invite my friends and I tell a joke that maybe wouldn't make a stranger laugh, but it's my friends, they'll laugh. It's like I don't want that. I want to see what works to the common man that doesn't know who I am. Yeah. Dude, that new movie fucking Nosferatu sucks. Don't. I rented it with my wife last week. That shit was gay. It's not worth it. Dude, this is crazy. This came out this week. I have a bit about suicide bombers. I was like, I wonder if a suicide bomber has ever seen a drone strike and been like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? Why can't we do that? You know? If we can't invest in the technology, I mean, let's at least brainstorm. Like maybe we could tape an explosive to a Nerf Whistler football and just chuck it, you know? And then last week, a company startup released a football shaped drone that troops will be able to like throw and they'll lock onto targets and shit. So literally a football drone came out, and I've been telling this joke for like not a year, but like maybe 9 months, about 7 or 8 months. Yeah, it was like in July, and I think when I first told it, but it's crazy. It's like I just tried to think of a silly thing to compare like an explosive device to, and I was like, that'd be funny if you just like taped a fucking bomb on a football and chucked it, you know? So that's gonna be like their drone missile. I was like, yeah, they'll just tape an explosive on a Nerf Whistler football and chuck it. That's pretty funny. And then 7 months later, a company's fucking making football drones. That's fucking wild. There's been a couple times where I've done shit like that, or I've thought about stuff in comedy, and then like something happens that's like it's like almost like predicting the future, dude. It's like I'm tapped into something. I also have like a lot of jokes about like what I see about the future, about like the future of warfare, the future of communication, uh, just like things I think about. Uh, and man, I hope some of them don't come true because they're like kind of fucked up jokes. So it's crazy that this fucking football drone came true. People messaged me it. They're like, dude, this is crazy. My buddy Jasper sent it to me. He was like, they make football drones now, dog. He was like, your material is too real now. I was like, yeah, that's fucking crazy. I also had a weird fucking alien dream about all these like drones that came out. Um, and then my wife saw a drone. I think it was like a little handheld drone, but it like flew by my house at like 3 in the morning, dude. She was like, "Yeah, there was a drone flying around our house last night." I was like, "Yeah, well, I hope it's not aliens, dog. Some carbon-based life forms trying to spy on me while I'm sleeping, dude. While I'm in my deep sleep, my REM sleep. They're trying to fucking, they're trying to steal my bits, dude. The fucking military industrial complex already stole my bits. Now the aliens are trying to get in this brain. They're like, this dude's got some good ideas." So yeah, dude, let me cook. Let him cook. I would never. I'm not fucking with aliens, dude. I don't want to talk to them or meet them, dude. Because that's how you get diseases. Is when creatures from different areas bring something over that one doesn't have uh, immunity towards or never experienced. It's like who knows what the fuck they're carrying from wherever the fuck they came from. There's one UFO story about a crash in Brazil where like a police chief or somebody like moved a body from a UFO and then he died like a few days later from like some disease in a hospital or something. So it's like he came in contact with it and and that killed him, moving the body of from the crash site. I don't know if it's true or not, but that makes sense because there's many different scenarios where that's happened. Disease and historical meetings, like when the fucking pilgrims brought over those fucking smallpox blankets over to the Americas, that wiped out 90% of the Native American population. Isn't that crazy? I said that to my dad, and he's like, 90%? I was like, yeah. 90% of the Native American population died from smallpox exposure from the settlers. Isn't that crazy? 90 they were reduced to 10% of their population from smallpox. So no wonder it was easy taking their shit, dog. Yeah. Fucking took your shit, homie. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. Because you got smallpox. No. So if the aliens come down, dude, I'm not dapping up any aliens, bro. I'll throw them a deuces. I'll send them peace sign. Do a little shaka bra. But I'm only throwing them deuces or a salute, you know? I'm not dapping up no aliens. I'm not getting exposed to that shit, bro. Happy Black History Month also. I wonder if there's like how interracial relationships, like if you're a white girl dating a black guy during Black History Month, you really got to chill on Valentine's Day. It's like, yeah, it's Valentine's Day, but don't make the day about you, bro, because this is his month. Let this king enjoy his month. White girls in interracial relationships. Don't be acting all snobby on Valentine's Day. Let this king enjoy his time, you know? All right. We should go over the UFC picks. I saved the UFC stuff for the end of the podcast. I think that's how this needs to happen for the people that don't give a shit about it. But for the picks I went over on this podcast specifically, regardless of what I said on Instagram or said to my buddies, on this podcast, I made predictions last week for the prelim card and the main card. There was 9 fights. One went to a draw. But for the other 8 fights, I got 7 correct and 1 incorrect. And out of the 7 I got correct, I got the 2 main events correct, both championship fights. And I told you the method of victory. I said Zhang Weili by decision. I told you she's going to keep it standing, and if it does go to the ground, she's going to dominate it, make it nasty, ground and pound, just muscle around Tatiana. Exactly what happened. Totally what happened. Saw that one coming. Called it. Zhang Weili, unanimous decision. And then, boom. Main event, Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. I said Dricus by decision. So, that's a 87.5% pick percentage that I got right. So I got 87.5% of the picks right. That's a solid go for the first card, guys. If you would have listened to those picks, you would have made money, dog. Not betting advice though. Just making that clear. I didn't bet on it. If I did, though, I would have made money, especially if I picked both of those and the method of victory for those last two. Would have made some good. Could have made some good cheese. I mean, yeah. So could have made some good cheese. 7-1. 7-1. 7 correct out of eight fights that had a winner or loser, not the draw. Can't beat that, bro. If I was 87.5% correct on every card, dude, and I was betting, I'd be rich as fuck. I'd say overall I'm probably like 60 to 70s. Because in fighting, it's crazy, man. It's competitive shit. It's hard to predict, but we'll keep it going, man. I'll predict this. There's a fight night coming up this weekend. It's Jared Cannonier versus Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. Let's run through here. We're gonna say, this is interesting. I'm gonna pick like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna pick the 5 main fights. The first one is Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petrovsky. This is interesting. I might go with Rodolfo Vieira. I don't know. Yeah. We're going to go with Rodolfo Vieira on that. The next one is Ismail Bonfim versus Nazim Sadkyov. I'm going with Bonfim. I'm not too familiar with Nazim, so I'm going to go with Bonfim. Up next, Edmund Shabazian versus Dylan Budka. I'm going with Shabazian. Calvin Kattar versus Yusuf Salal. I'm going with Kattar. And then main event, Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodriguez. I'm going with RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez. I think he's on a run. I think Jared might be sliding back. Cannonier's 40 years old. I think he's lost a handful of his last few fights. And RoboCop's been on kind of on a tear, really. I think I looked at his record a couple months back and I was like, dude, he's actually like low key running through the division. Like, let's see. In his last few fights, he beat Brad Tavares, KO round 3. That's a great win. Fight before that, Christian Leroy Duncan, round 3 decision. That was a phenomenal win. Christian Duncan was like a stud. Fight before that, KO'd Dennis Tillyan. Not too familiar with that guy. He lost a decision to Armen Petrosian. And then he this is going in like retroactive. So I'm going like previous fight. He KO'd Julian Marquez. He KO'd Chidi Nonjokiani. I can't say his last name. But those are 2 fucking great knockouts. KO'd Park Jong Young. Got a decision against some guy from like Georgia. So it's like he has 1 loss to Armen Petrosian. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 good wins, and like half of them knockouts against like good fighters. It's like, dude, Gregory Rodriguez has fucking quietly been on a tear the last 4 years, working his way up that division. So I think he's a solid middleweight. He's kind of underrated, I would say. So we'll go with Gregory Rodriguez. I'll need to take a picture of that. Just remember what fights I picked. So I'm bringing receipts each week. I'm letting you know how I did, you know. And I'm not even like studying these. I'm just like I pulled these up and just ripped picks off the dome. So it's like I didn't even recognize 2 of the names. So maybe I'll get those wrong. Who knows? Just going with what my first instinct is when I see the matchups. And it's on me if I don't recognize them or know who they are. But I know the roster decently well, so pretty confident in these picks. I was worried about the card last night, the picks I made last week, because I was like, just the matchups. I told my buddies, I was like, I think all these matchups are like traps, because I could see the other side winning, especially the two championship fights. I even said that on Instagram. I was like, I kind of think Strickland and Tatiana Suarez are going to win. But on the podcast, I said Du Plessis and Zhang Weili by decision, and I was correct. So if you're listening to the pod, dog, y'all are getting the good shit. Fuck my buddies and the people on Instagram. You got to listen to the pod if you want to get some in-depth analysis and good picks. I ain't giving out no free game. This is for TKO Nation only. So book of the week, Georgia St. Pierre, The Way of the Fight. Talked about a lot of shit today. But, just be proud of yourself. It's good to be strict with yourself. Set a high standard. I'm about to go on a ski trip next week. My wife has been stressing me out about it. She's trying to get me to pack and stuff, make sure I'm ready. That's one good thing about having a significant other, a wife or a girlfriend, is that it's an external pressure to do things that you don't really want to do. Like, keeps you honest to take care of like basic things. So it's like I'm more likely to do the dishes or take the trash out because my wife's going to say something about it. I'm like, oh God, I don't want her nagging me about this. I'll just go ahead and do it. So that way, when she gets home, I was like, oh yeah, by the way, did the dishes. Didn't even need to say anything. And it's like they weren't even really bothering me. It's like I just wanted to be one step ahead. That's how you need to be in relationships. Be one step ahead the whole time. No, but I was a step behind because she's preparing for the ski trip and I'm not. I had to get my fucking driver's license renewed too this week. Dude, they said you can fly with a expired ID. That's what it says on TSA's website. It's what it says online. But it's still kind of nerve-wracking to come in with a expired ID, hoping to get on a plane. I have a temporary one with me as well, but they preferred expired over temporary IDs, which is kind of weird. So I'm just going to bring both. We'll see what happens. It's weird that we have to renew licenses, dude. It's like, I'm still me, dog. I ain't changed up. The government thinks I changed up. They want me to come in and get a picture. It's like, bro, I'm still me. You can ask my day ones. I'm still Scott Walker from 2019 when this last ID picture was taken. I'm still me, dog. I gained like 10 pounds. I fluctuated a lot within that time frame. I have a beard, like a little bit of a beard now. That's a little difference. I'm still me, dog. I ain't never gonna change up. I'ma always be me. I don't need to renew a license, dog. So yeah, I'm going skiing and snowboarding next week in Colorado. It's gonna be so fun. Hopefully I don't eat shit. Hopefully I don't just get injured. That's the only thing I don't want to do. Is I'm cool with eating shit. I just don't want to like hurt my knee or my shoulder or something. Just off some bullshit like skiing and snowboarding. But it should be fun. Looking forward to it. I'll try to rip a pod on Saturday. Maybe I'll do one during the fights. Like I said, I've done that before with buddies, live podcasting while the fights are on. And it was a bad idea because I end up just watching the fights and not podcasting. But maybe, depending on what time they're on, I could watch them and react to them maybe, or do a pod right after, get the pod done, and then go over what happened and see how my picks did. See if I was on point or way the fuck off. Who knows? So just to summarize everything we said, you know, just the important things, which was be proud of yourself, positive self-talk, be proud of what you've done, who you currently are, and embrace the future. Strive to be the best version of yourself, you know. We're all on the goal for perfection as martial artists as well. And although we'll never get there, we're going to get as damn close to the best version of ourselves as we can be. It's positive self-talk. Be observant. Learn from the masters in your fields of interest. Uh, Grind. Fear is power. If you're anxious and nervous, that's your most alert and aware state. Harness that power. Use it for good. Like John Jones said. Georges St. Pierre also. Put in the hard work. Program and hardwire your system through training and practice. That way, when you get in these stressful, nervous states, when the flow state enters and you just become an autonomous version of yourself, the humor and the fighting skills, they're programmed. So if you put in the work and mold yourself, when the time comes, you will succeed. Just believe in yourself. Try to keep it positive. Be proud of yourself. And never stop grinding. And I'll see you at the top of the mountain, brother. We'll fucking yell at the apex once we get there. But guess what? We're just getting started. Nowhere close. Got a long way to go. So let's get back to the grind, brother. Y'all have a good week. Conquer the day, conquer the week, conquer the month, conquer the year, and conquer your fucking goals. Best version of ourselves, 2025. We're only going up. Deuces.